Bloomberg's New Economy Forum is underway. The conference aims to forge common ground between global leaders from the East and West. And that's never been more important than now with the strained relationship between the U.S. and China.
Countries must rise above exclusive blocs and reject the zero-sum mentality. We should build an open world economy that works for all.
But one country is accusing Beijing of economic coercion. Bloomberg's ag reporter Sibylla Gross is in Sydney, Australia with more.
Tensions between Beijing and Canberra have really escalated in the last few weeks, with China flexing its economic might against Australia and hitting out at a range of Australian commodities, particularly in the ag sector, which is quite concerning given we are the world's most China-reliant economy. In the year 2018 to 19, we shipped about $16 billion worth of ag product to China. It's quite concerning as well because we don't know how long these bans will last. We haven't actually had official confirmation from the Chinese government saying that this is a directive targeted at Australia, but we are hearing from commodity traders and people familiar with the matter in China who are saying that the products basically won't be passing customs. That's causing a lot of concern for the exporters here in Australia, and one of the biggest industries that will be hit is the wine industry in Australia. China is the biggest export market by far compared to anywhere else in the world. Into September this year, they bought $1.2 billion worth of premium Australian wine, which is 2.5 times more the amount that our next biggest export partner bought in the US. That really speaks to how scary these bans are to many in the wine industry. We know that Chinese consumers love Australian wine because of the sweeter flavours that tend to come out of Australia compared to the more traditional flavours out of Europe.
I think the quality and also the reputation about the Australian wine in China, and because One Australia, which is control the quality of the grapes.
Like, how serious are you viewing the situation?
This is a very serious matter because we don't know how long will be banned. I mean, the Australian wine to China. I don't know how long we can hold the wine because we, as you can see, our company is mainly for exporting. Right, we making the wine in South Australia and we exporting to other countries. But the Chinese market, it is 80%. I got the rent to pay, I got the many workers to pay, and also the business to run. So that's going to be tough, for us. But yeah, at this stage.
Sibylla, trade tensions are still rising between China and Australia, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like they are, and we're not really getting any clear sign of them ending anytime soon. It's come a long way from 2014 when trade relations were at an all-time high between Beijing and Canberra to this year when China won't even actually pick up the phone or respond to our trade minister's calls to them. And it's a big deal because obviously we are the world's most China-reliant economy. To sum up what's happened, we've had a raft of Australian commodities hit by so-called bans from China, though they haven't been confirmed yet. And it's been most keenly felt in the ag sector. We're sort of waiting to hear whether the bans are going to expand out to other commodities, but for the moment, it seems like lots of these commodities actually aren't making it past customs. I've actually this morning just spoke to a wine industry body leader, and he said he's not aware of any Australian wine that's managed to get through since the bans came into effect. What's happening is most of the shipments, or all of the shipments, are being subjected to increased scrutiny, inspections, and they're being asked for documentation, which is really unusual, I've been told. And we're not really sure how long it's going to last, but it appears nothing is getting through.
So let's take a step back then. How did we get here?
Look, I mean, it probably started a bit earlier this year when Australia did call for that independent inquiry into the origins of the coronavirus, which was pretty much aimed at China, and China didn't take that too well. But really what kicked things off was Australia banning the Chinese 5G network for security reasons, like many other countries in the world, but that probably kicked things off in Australia.
So Australia has called China's behavior out as economic coercion. What does Beijing say to that?
Beijing obviously denies any sort of economic coercion because they're clearly not giving any official confirmation to these bans, and they've actually asked Australia to have a look at its own, deeds and words. They've also pointed out to interference in Taiwan and Hong Kong as well, and also the human rights issues in the Uyghur region. And we're not really sure when the commodities in Australia, the exports, when we might see a day when they'll actually get through customs.